Digital clones are attacking. They are attacking the world. They are attacking your country. They are attacking your city. Does this mean we should panic? Well, actually, no, unless you're not creating your own digital clone. This is not a Star Wars movie. I'm talking about the real world today as technology exists, not something in the 23rd century, but something right now. Digital clones have become a reality. It's now possible, not just for giant corporations, not just for politicians with billion-dollar budgets, but for you, for me, to have a digital clone. And what does that mean? A clone can ingest every single idea we've ever said in a video format, in an audio format, in a media interview, in a podcast, everything we've written in a book, or for that matter, put on Twitter or Facebook. It can all go in to this digital stew. And then when someone asks a question, swirl it around, spin it up, and deliver it in a format that's interesting to people, understandable, and sounds just like you. Why? Because it's pulling from you. It's not pulling from ChatGPT in general of the entire internet. It's not putting out conspiracy theories and nonsense and old tales of home remedies. It's actually giving your thoughts, your advice. And that's why I think it is so exciting. So what does this really mean to you? You already use artificial intelligence all the time. If you've ever been to a Netflix and seen Netflix recommend a movie to you, think, oh, you know what? I was thinking of watching an Adam Sandler movie tonight. This is perfect. Click. Well, artificial intelligence has been looking through all the data about everything you've ever watched and everything you've looked at to give you that recommendation. If you've ever gone to TikTok, guess what? You didn't pick out what video to watch. Artificial intelligence did. We live in a world where all of us are subjected to artificial intelligence in so many decisions, most of which we're not even aware of. Isn't it time you use the full power of artificial intelligence to help yourself? Now, if you are an author, an expert, a coach, a consultant, for that matter, if you're anyone who uses your brain in your profession and you had to communicate your ideas with other people by speaking, it could be on the phone, it could be Zoom meetings, it could be online meetings, it could be giving keynote speeches. It could be just in meetings where you're talking to people, going through questions they have that your other clients have. If you're anyone like that, then the clones are coming for you. And by coming, I don't mean they're coming in some nefarious way to harm you directly. I mean the opportunity for you to use a clone to help yourself, your business, your clients, your customers. That is coming. Now, you don't have to take them up on the opportunity, but I can tell you what, your competitors are, your industry leaders are doing. They are already making their clones. The leaders of your industry right now either already have a clone or they're actively scurrying around trying to make them. How do I know that? Because I'm doing it myself. I have my own digital clone, TJ Walker AI, that can answer any question. You can see in the description below. I've given a link. You can ask any question. In some ways, TJ AI is a lot better than I am. TJ AI never asks for a weekend off. Never says, oh my gosh, don't ask me a question on Friday at 5:30. I got to tune out and relax with it. Come back to me Monday morning. My artificial intelligence clone never does that. If you ask me for the 10th time a question I've heard 1,000 times today, like, how do I get over my nerves starting a presentation? Every once in a while, I might lose a little bit of patience. Guess what? My artificial intelligence clone never loses patience. It, in some ways, is better than I am. It also has perfect recall and perfect memory. So what does this really mean for you? You may be thinking, well, but I'm not an artificial intelligence programmer. I don't know Python. I'm not a high-tech person. It's too expensive. I can't worry about that. Guess what? I'm not high-tech either. I don't know a bit from a byte, from a gigahertz. I don't know any of that stuff. And yet I've figured out how to create a digital clone of myself. And there are platforms for doing that. Look around. But clones are coming. They're going to take over every single industry, every single niche. I predict this is going to be another situation where it's a winner take all mentality. And I don't mean only one person is going to win and control every clone, but I think in so many niches, it could be knitting, it could be stamp collecting, it could be, if your niche is just knowing the absolute best about Pinot Noir wine, if you're a real thought leader and you have the best content about it right now, you can make your content available throughout the world to everyone in every single language on their time frame. That's what's so interesting and fascinating about the power of clones. Now, we saw this in some respects with the internet itself. It made certain people exponentially more in demand and able to charge more and make more money. I certainly saw that with the rise of online video-based courses. People who got in early were able to sell their products around the world, make millions, and people who just stuck with their traditional way of, I'm going to do in-person training, none of this high-tech stuff for me. A lot of them became unemployed or saw their business revenues go down 70%. I predict that clones, and specifically AI cloning technology, is going to have a similar impact. Now, it's not good for a lot of people, but I don't want you to get scared yet, because it's not too late for you to hop in and learn this and create your own clone and compete. But I do think we're in a situation where in the not too distant future, not having a digital clone of yourself is going to be the equivalent of not having a LinkedIn page. You're simply not going to be taken seriously as a professional. Those who do have clones, short term, are going to have a big leg up. Those of you old enough to remember back in the mid-1990s, a business could get full-page stories, sometimes front-page stories on the business section just for having a website. And then 5-6 years later, you got a story if you didn't have a website. Now nobody can even imagine a business not having a website. It's going to be very similar with respect to digital clones. Those who get in early are going to get a lot of attention. They're going to get publicity. They're going to get this, oh, that's amazing reactions from clients, customers, prospects, people in their industry. Those who wait can wait and join when most other people do. Those who wait too long are going to find nobody cares about them. They become forgotten at that point. I don't want you to be forgotten. I want you to be one of the winners. That's why I urge you, start thinking of your digital clone. Now, what goes into a clone? Is it just your face going blah, 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 and it's pulling generic information from Wikipedia and the internet? No, that's not what a clone should do. A clone should reflect your ideas. The TJ Walker clone reflects only my ideas. I've input every YouTube video I've ever done into my clone so it can reference that, including this one. I've input every podcast I've ever made. I've input every book I've ever written. I've input documents, proposals, so my clone actually knows me better than I do. It has instant recall. If I gave a detailed analysis of somebody's acceptance speech from the 2013 Academy Awards, my clone can reference it and tell you who won and what they did well. I have no idea. I don't remember. That's not how my memory works. The memory of an AI digital clone is, for the most part, perfect. So what does this really mean for you? It means you need to be prepared for changes in technology. People who said, well, this telephone thing will never catch on. I'm just going to continue writing letters to my clients and prospects. didn't do too well. People who had restaurants as a part of inns who said, well, this whole electricity thing, that's just a fad. I'm going to continue making a campfire and cooking all the meals on wooden fire. They didn't do too well. You ignore technology at your own peril. And just this week, at the time I'm recording this, the folks at OpenAI have shown their latest ChatGPT 4o and are showing how clones can now capture the essence and analyze someone's voice. Talk about whether they're happy, sad, what they're feeling. It can analyze visuals. It can instantly translate anything you say into 50 languages. So what's the significance of this, really? It means now you have the power to have one-on-one style conversations with 8 billion people around the world, or at least any one of the many billions of people on Earth who have some access to a cell phone or a tablet or a computer and some access to the internet, whether they own it or not. You can now have a one-on-one conversation with them in their language, and you don't have to be there. You can be having a real conversation with a family member or a friend. Your clone can be having these conversations with 100 people at the same time, 1,000, 1,000,000, and theoretically with everyone in the whole world at the same time could be possible through the power of digital cloning. Now, I'm not suggesting 1 billion people are going to want to talk to you at once, but this is transformational in a profound way. Sure, for the last 20 years, we've all been able to push a button, record a video, put it online. People can see it on social media platforms, a website. But that is you one time saying something and someone else having to passively sit there and watch it, consume it. Got a question? Keep it to yourself. People couldn't ask you a question if you already made the video and you posted it and you don't even know they're watching. What's different about digital cloning is it really can be very similar to a one-on-one conversation. And that's the most powerful form of conversations. Ask yourself, when you think of presentations you've heard, what's had the biggest impact on your life? Is it you sitting in a room listening with 1,000 other people to some famous speaker? Or is it more like a conversation you have with a parent one-on-one where they told you something of a profound nature, or someone proposed marriage to you? That was a one-on-one conversation. The first really important job interview you ever had was probably one person interviewing you and then one person offering you that job. The most powerful interactions between human beings are typically one-on-one. And that is the promise of digital cloning. Is it exactly 100% the same as a real person? No. But it's 1,000,000 times cheaper than you having to fly to the other side of the world to have a 5-minute conversation with someone, because chances are you're not going to do that. It's 1,000,000 times easier than you talking to someone who speaks in another language and you're having to translate one word at a time with that person and being in the same room. Because the power of digital cloning makes it happen seamlessly at a near instantaneous pace. That is what is so powerful. So the clones are coming, my friends, and the world, I think, is going to be divided quickly into more winners and more losers. Now, you're not a loser as a human being or in terms of your moral worth if you don't have a clone. I don't want to suggest that. What I am suggesting is professionally, it is going to be a big impediment. And maybe you don't see your income go down, but your possibilities, your future is not going to be as bright, because the people who have digitized all of their insights, all of their thoughts, all of their expertise, who can now share it with people around the globe anytime in this personalized one-on-one exchange, are going to have a huge advantage. they're going to make more money. They're going to help more people. They're going to build their reputation. They're going to establish stronger connections with people on every continent, in every country, in every city, in every language. That's what is so powerful about it. Now, we got to get careful here. I try to be careful. I don't like hyperbole. So many people were hyping the metaverse a few years ago. I was skeptical of that. I asked myself, do I really want to spend more time looking at screens or my kid looking at screens? The answer was no. We've heard a lot of hype about cryptocurrency, and yes, some people like it, but has it completely changed the whole world for most people? I'm putting down a bet that digital clones, that's a different thing, that it really is potentially as transformational as Gutenberg's printing press. It really is transformational as the internet itself, potentially much more transformational than social media and the way it has changed society and business. So that's why I want you to spend some time thinking about this on a daily basis. Mark my words, the clones are coming.